Hi, Mark, and today I have a very colorful top 10 for you. My top 10 must read queer novels in 2022. We start with The Music of What Happens by Bill Konigsberg. Max and Jordan don't have much to do with each other. While Max loves sports, video games, and hanging out with his boys, Jordan is more of an introvert, writes poetry, and meets his two best friends at the mall. They only get to know each other better when they work together in Jordan's father's old food truck. And very slowly, the two realize that there might be more between them than just friendship. Sometimes it only takes one person to find yourself. The author Bill Konigsberg, born in New York City in 1970, is an award-winning American author who is best known for his LGBTQ novels. He lives outside of Phoenix, Arizona with his husband and two Labradoodles. The Music of What Happens is his debut with one publishers, and it's a nice one. Let's continue with Bitten by Mistake by Annabelle Jacobs. From hostility to searing passion in a lunar cycle, but can the connection survive? Well, the pack means his whole life for the wolf shifter Nathan Cole. He avoids socializing outside of the pack and prefers humans as sex partners only because there's little danger of becoming attached to them. But when he meets Jared Taylor, almost every rule in his life is thrown out of whack. After a bad experience, Jared Taylor is certain he'll never get involved with the shifter again, no matter how much it gets under his skin. And while he finds Nathan extremely hot, he can only see him as an arrogant, domineering bastard. A catastrophic blunder forces Nathan and Jared to stay close to each other until the next full moon, and it doesn't take long before they can no longer ignore the strong attraction that exists between them. Passion wins over reason, and their relationship takes the one step further that neither of them planned. But when the next full moon comes, everything could change again. I unfortunately haven't been able to find out anything about the author yet. And let's go to the next one. It's Blue Boy Bullet by Garrett Leigh. Levy Ramon got into the porn business for one reason only. He needed to make money to pay off his mother's horrendous gambling debts. After 7 years, he's now a veteran of the adult industry, known as one of Blue Boy Studios' most ruthless tops. Until his boss tells him it's time to show something new. That's where Sonny Valentine comes in, one of the dancers at Silver's. A man Levi has secretly desired for years, and now he's said to be the third man in a scene that is a nightmare for Levi. Things couldn't get any worse, right? But Garrett Leigh is an award-winning British author, cover artist, and book designer, and the debut novel Slide won Best Sexual Debut at the 2014 Rainbow Book Awards, and her polyamorous novel Misfits was a finalist at the 2016 Lambda Awards. She was a finalist again in 2017 with Rented Heart. In 2017, she won the Epic Award in Contemporary Romance for a military novel Between Ghosts, and won the Contemporary Romance category at the Bisexual Book Awards for a novel What Remains. And now let's continue with Compromised by Ethan Stone. Officer Daniel, or called Cash Kashavarov, is single, gay, and works in a maximum security prison. Not the best job to be out. After bad experiences in a past relationship, he would like to fall in love again, but doesn't think it will happen anytime soon. Working with Zane Davis turns Cash's life upside down. They start out as colleagues, then become friends, and eventually start dating, but their relationship is far from perfect. While dealing with his relationship troubles, Cash also befriends an inmate named Cody Ivy. Personal proximity to an inmate is against the rules, but Cash is convinced of the young man's innocence. He soon becomes committed to proving it, even at the risk of his own life doing so. And all I could find out about this author is that he was born in Salem in Oregon in the United States. And now we go to words you probably have heard before, Gay for Pay by T.M. Smith. One night, one mistake changes everything. Chris Allen Roberts loses everything that meant something to him: his girlfriend, a bright future as a football player, a scholarship, his family. Only his best friend Michael gives him support. Chris moves to New York with Michael and his partner. There, he accidentally finds a job offer at the erotic label All Cox. Money is money, Chris thinks, and how hard can it be to fuck another man? Well, Lincoln Carter is one of the all-stars at All Cox, and when he sees newcomer Chris for the first time, all he wants to do is shoot a scene with him. But he soon realizes that Chris is gay for pay, and that there is a dark secret in his past that makes it impossible for Chris to open up to anyone. Or isn't he? The author is a military brat born and raised in Fount Benning in Georgia. Smith is an avid reader who happens to write cute and sexy gay novels. She's a Texas transplant and now calls Justin, Texas, her home. Smith is a single mother of 3, disturbingly open and distinctly different children, one of whom is autistic. In addition to her writing, she is passionate about autism and LGBT rights. Because, seriously, love is love. And now, let's continue with Fake Out by Eden Finley. There's a simple reason I rarely go home. I'm a liar, is the text. Maddox O'Shea is in a bind. To avoid marrying his high school sweetheart, he claimed he was gay. Now, 5 years later, he's invited to his ex's wedding with his boyfriend. But there isn't, because Maddox is heterosexual. An alibi friend is needed. Damon King is reluctant to be persuaded by his sister to play Maddox's partner. But, as we would say here in Germany, one hand washes the other, and Maddox's connections can help jumpstart Damon's career as a budding player's agent. And also, 48 Hours, a pseudo couple, how hard can that be? But the charade has unexpected consequences, and the two have to wonder why they can't get each other out of their heads. Fake Out is the first book in author Eden Finley's 5-part Fake Boyfriend series. Each book is self-contained and can be read as a standalone title. However, in order to follow all the side stories, it's best to read the volumes in order. Eden Finley writes light-hearted, heartfelt romance novels that are wonderful for short escapes from everyday lives. Her books usually come from quite a crazy idea. Eden originally wrote in many other genres as well, but since 2018 she has found her home in gay romance. Eden lives in Australia with her husband and son. And greetings to all the Australian fans out there. Let's continue with Demons Do It Better by Louisa Masters. He works for Lucifer. However, that's not as cool nor as satanic as it sounds. In fact, he actually ended up in his job with a community of species government. Strictly speaking, as an office manager, he's just a better babysitter tasked with keeping a horde of shifter or demon agents in check. Not an easy task for him as the only person in the team, or human. He also spends a lot of time avoiding Gideon Bailey, the demon he accidentally ended up in bed with just before he started working at CSG. And that one is still pissed off at him, and he doesn't want to be murdered by him. But somehow they have to pull themselves together, especially now that pregnant women keep disappearing. Rumor has it that someone is doing genetic experiments on them. Solving this case is definitely more important than the sexual tensions between Gideon and the protagonist. But then something completely unexpected happens. The author, Louisa Masters, started reading romance novels earlier than her mother thought was good for her. While other teenagers snuck out of the house at night, Louisa smuggled in romance novels during the day. As an adult, she first wanted to take up a reasonable job and has worked as a bookseller in human resources and resource management, in administration, and also as a travel agent. In the meantime, she has turned her passion, reading and writing light novels, into her profession. Louisa keeps a long list of places she has discovered in books and would like to visit one day. She likes to travel to fire her imagination, although she will never get used to the jet lag. Her home is Melbourne, and although she often whines about the Australian weather, she's secretly certain that she will never move there. And I must have Australia Day today, although it's a few days ago. But let's continue with Here the Whole Time by Vitor Martens. 17-year-old Felipe is not chubby or heavy boned. No, he's being very realistic. Felipe is fat. Welcome to my life. That's why he doesn't need anyone to remind him of it, which doesn't stop his classmates from doing so. Luckily, the holidays are coming up. Finally, peace and time for Felipe's favorite pastimes, watching series and reading a lot. But then everything turns out very differently, because his mother tells him that the boy next door, Caio, will live with them for the next 15 days. Felipe is in despair because A, he has been madly in love with Caio since, well, always, and B, Felipe's list of uncertainties is endless. How is he supposed to survive the holidays with his crush? Vitor Martens lives in Sao Paulo in Brazil and works as a writer and illustrator. His goal is to tell the stories of people in his books who have never seen themselves represented in a book. Victor is convinced that young adult books can make an important contribution to society. And on his Instagram channel, @VitorMRTNS, he talks about books, pop culture, and illustration topics. And now, let's go to Omega Required by Dessa Lux. Alpha werewolf Bo Jeffries goes his own way after being expelled from his pack as a teenager for helping a human and thereby jeopardizing the pack's secrets, at a time when humanity is only just beginning to learn the truth about the existence of werewolves, and that was an early moment. Now he's said to be the first werewolf who is allowed to complete his time as a resident in a special program. But there are rules for him, because if he doesn't belong to a pack, he has to be married. Omega werewolf Roland Leigh is just trying to survive. After the last and worst relationship of his life, he has taken refuge in a home for homeless Omegas. But he's getting worse every day. And when he is offered the opportunity to join a dating agency, he feels, well, he has nothing to lose. And when Bo sees Roland's profile, he immediately knows why the Omega is doing so badly and feels obliged to help him. If he can persuade Roland to marry him, he can save Roland's life, and Roland can help him get his place at the clinic. But can a relationship born of reason lead to real love? We'll see. Dessa Lux has her own website, but still I couldn't find out anything about the author, although she writes blogs there. And as a good ending, there's still Griffin and Quincy, Opposites Attract by A.D. Ellis. Love, security, and caring were foreign words to Griffin until he learned their meaning through his new foster parents and Quincy. When the frightened and frail Griffin moves in with him, Quincy's world is turned upside down. Despite a rocky start, the two soon become inseparable friends. However, puberty reveals an unexpected attraction between the two that only intensifies during high school. Is college ease worth jeopardizing 10 years of friendship, or is there even a chance for something much better? Well, we will see. The author is the mother of two teenagers, a qualified teacher, and has written over 50 books in the last 7 years. She lives in Indiana in USA and teaches in Indianapolis. She wrote her first book in 2013 and published it in 2014. And if you like this video, the next one is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. Bis gleich.